The Demon Deacons in black and gold, Notre Dame in the home white. Our officials tonight, Roger Ayers, Bill Covington, and Justin Porterfield. We are underway in South Bend. It's Notre Dame that starts with the ball. Go inside to Tay Davis, attacking Andrew Carr. Great defense by Carr, rips it away. And Davis goes over the top of Boopy Miller.
You know what, Jay? I think it's really important for these other guys besides Burton to get involved early on, get them feeling good, get them going. Guys like Booth and Davis, just to get a feel for it early, and then going into the game, they're engaged.
Take a look at the Wake starting five. Boopy Miller, the point guard. He's back playing in the Midwest, a Chicago native, transfer from Central Michigan. Number 0 has it here. Hildreth lines up a 3 and knocks it down to open the scoring.
Jay, a much improved shooter. He's a guy who's really the heart and soul of this team. He brings grit and toughness, but you see by his shooting numbers that he is definitely an improved shooter, and you see him knocking down the 3 right there.
Notre Dame starting 5. This is a young group. All 5 starters are underclassmen, 3 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and they've turned it over twice early, and Miller puts it up and in.
Jay, that's a big thing for Notre Dame, being able to take care of the ball, not giving extra possessions to Wake Forest. You see right there, Boopy Miller doing a great job taking advantage of the turnover, getting the bucket in transition.
Braden Shrewsbury off the mark from 3. He has been 45% from deep in ACC play. Burton swipes it away. The steal and the finish, that'll count. Goaltend.
For Notre Dame to compete in this game, Jay, they have to get easy buckets. They're not known as an up-tempo team, but if they could get up and get in transition, get easy buckets, create turnovers, it's better for them going deep into this game.
Now, this is a Notre Dame team that is playing a lot better than their record. They've won 3 of their last 4, actually had a 3-game winning streak snapped Saturday against Syracuse. Hunter Salas connects on a 3.
And we talked about it, you know, before the game. Salas, he's a guy who's an NBA prospect. He's put himself in first-round consideration.
Oh, no doubt about it. He has been so consistent for this Demon Deacons team. Burton, nothing but the bottom of the net.
Jay, if he can start being consistent, hitting the jump shot, he's already a guy who can get to his spots at will. But now the defense has to get up and play tight. Makes it even easier for him getting by, getting to the basket, make plays for him and his teammates.
Salas in attack mode. And now Hildreth trying to spin his way free, fade away, it falls. And Wake Forest is red hot. They are 4 for 4 to start the night.
Well, Hildreth, let me know, man, because you're not just the heart and the soul. You're bringing a little bit of offense to the table. The 5 early points for Hildreth. He's looking to be aggressive, scoring the ball early on.
Davis open for 3. Left it short, gets his own rebound, and rocks the rim. Great hustle to stay with it. Tay Davis.
Jay, I'm looking at the matchup. You know, they have Carr on Davis. Davis is a guy who's versatile forward. You got Carr out on that perimeter. Davis has had the advantage all night, being able to get by off the dribble.
Poked away. Markus Shrewsbury, year 1 as the head coach for Notre Dame. He has prioritized defense for this young group. And they are dialed in defensively. Backdoor open, Davis denied.
Ooh, looks like a goaltend.
That would have been the 2nd goaltend of the night. Hildreth for 3, left it short. Foul on the floor. Let's take another look. You said goaltend immediately.
Well, it looked like the ball was already above the rim going down.
Yeah, that's a goaltend.
That's a goaltend. That was already on the rim.
The officials would be able to review that, but they would have to call it and look at it immediately.
They probably should have did it.
Now we have the benefit of a replay. Miller so crafty in the lane, it doesn't drop. Count it, plus the foul. Staying with the play. Cleaning up his own spill, Boopy Miller.
And just be able to stay with that play. I mean, coming from Central Michigan, but he's from Chicago. And we know Chicago, they produce tough guards. I mean, Boopy's a guy who's come from a mid-major and produced at a high level in the ACC play, but he's a guy that has been a major contributor for Wake Forest along with Salas in that backcourt.
Completes the three-point play. He's shown he belongs in the ACC, no doubt about it. Steve Forbes has done a great job hitting the transfer portal and, you know, getting it right.
And really, this is, I mean, that's the name of the game now, Jay. With the NIL and the transfer portal, it's kind of like the Wild Wild West, just to be honest. But you're going to see a lot of guys who maybe didn't get that time at mid-majors and then come up to high level where they can really prove themselves.
Shot clock down to 7. Contested 3, goes begging. Lob, and Reed hammers it home. Efton Reed.
Well, and that was Shrewsbury. He was late on coming over on the help. You got to be able to bump him early, right by that A in ACC. You got to go over there and bump him, and he was late, and you see what happened. Lob dunk for Reed.
Well, if there was any doubt that Wake Forest would come out a little flat on the road after a big win against Duke, they have answered that in the opening 5 minutes. Red hot to start this game. Shrewsbury answers with the floater.
Not just a three-point shooter, coach showing that he can put it on the ground, getting the floater. I think that's the next level for Shrewsbury in his game, putting it on the deck and being able to create.
Now, this is a young team for Notre Dame, but they're playing their best basketball right now. They've won 3 of 4. Wake Forest an early 15-9 lead here in South Bend. Let's take a look for our Food Lion food for thought of the night. Wake Forest, one of the top offenses in the ACC. Notre Dame, they've struggled at times offensively this season, but a really good defense, and they're going to have their work cut out for them going against this Demon Deacons offense.
Well, you know what? They got to be able to try to put Wake Forest in the half court, put bodies in front, especially these good guards. They got to surround them with bodies, and then when they do get it down low, like Coach said, they're going to send that double team, and they got to make it tough for the passes out of the double team. But I think offensively for Notre Dame, they got to be able to try to get out in transition, play fast, get easy buckets. They got to be able to rebound the ball. They got to be able to create turnovers if they want to do that.
You look at that nugget in the bottom corner. Notre Dame has held ACC opponents below their scoring average at 15 of 16 games. The one game they didn't was Saturday at the Dome against Syracuse, snapped a 3-game win streak. So no doubt this Notre Dame team is much improved. Wake Forest has come out hot. They've hit 6 of their first 8 shots. Shrewsbury off the screen. Here's Burton, step back 3.
Tough, that's a tough shot. Great defense by Hildreth. You want to get a better look if you're Burton.
Salas goes coast to coast, rejected at the rim by Roper. And now Roper running in transition. Kick to the corner, good look, and Booth buries it.
Get a good block on one end, push the tempo, get an open shot down on the other end. Booth, he's a talented young freshman, a guy who could play inside and out.
Yeah, 2 freshmen connecting there. The future very bright for Notre Dame, but they want the present to be bright. Trying to knock off a Wake Forest team with back-to-back big wins to boost their NCAA tournament resume. Carr spinning his way into the lane. Miller tries the floater, and it drops.
And you know what, Boopy Miller just poised and composed. You see the pump fake, took his time, get to his spot. The guy didn't come up, read the floater, knocked it down. Boopy Miller is an elite guard. Yeah, you see him right here, pump fake, getting Burton up in the air with the nice touch. Great look by Miller.
Here's Burton attacking Reed. Kick out, Booth, another 3. Back-to-back triples for Carey Booth.
We talked about it in the beginning, Jay. Burton needs to be able to get his teammates involved early on, just get them engaged, and then when it comes to the crunch time, it's his time with the ball in hands. Great job finding Carey hitting his second three of the game.
You know, working with Eric Devendorf for the first time, it's funny to watch you watch a game. Your eyes light up every time there's a three. You still love that three ball.
Well, Jay, you know what? I feel like I can go out there and get 20 right now. But I love the game. I have a passion for the game. And I know what these young fellas have been through, you know, being in the wars in the old Big East, you know, now in the ACC. Just love the game and love seeing these guys go at it.
Efton Reed, a chance to complete the and one opportunity.
And I think going in, Jay, you know, Coach Shrewsbury, he knew it was going to be a battle down low with Reed and Carr. You know, two veteran guys, you know, versatile with Carr, and then obviously Reed down low. It's a load. So Notre Dame has their hands full. Only down 4, though. Doing a good job.
You know, Wake Forest has been a different team with Efton Reed in the lineup. Missed the first 7 games of the season. Wake was just 4-3 without him. And since his return, they've just hit another level, now in the top 25 in the net. And Steve Forbes has done such a great job building this program year by year. This seems like the year they finally get into the NCAA tournament after a few years on the bubble.
Yeah, well, I think if you ask me, Wake Forest is an underrated team. I mean, you look at the lineup, you look at the balance that they have, and you talked about Reed. Totally different team with Reed on the floor. He just brings a whole nother dynamic.
I mean, if you take Burton, count it, plus the foul. Just to finish the Wake point, if you take their metrics with Reed back in the lineup, they're a top 20 team, no doubt about it.
Yeah, no question. And like I said, right now, they're one of the best teams in the country. Coming off the win against Duke, this could be a trap game on the road against a much improved Notre Dame team. But, you know, Coach Forbes, he talked to his team about it. He's going to have them ready, and, you know, they're playing well early on. But you see Burton right there getting into the lane, playing off 2 feet, pump fake, getting into the body, getting the and one. He's been doing that consistently all year.
He has 8 points early to lead the Irish. And Notre Dame giving Wake everything they can handle. A travel there by Miller. 4 turnovers for Wake Forest in the opening 8 minutes.
Yeah, Jay, that's one thing that, you know, Notre Dame has to do. They have to be able to create turnovers and make it tough for Wake on the offensive end. Get up and pressure the guards, make them uncomfortable.
Logan Imes into the game, another freshman for Micah Shrewsbury's team. Burton showing off the handles, hands it off, big time finish, Tay Davis.
Burton, just show him your playmaking ability, splitting it, dropping it to Davis. And Davis, we talked about the versatile forward, transfers from Seton Hall. He can do it inside and out, and I think he has NBA potential. When you look at Davis and his body and just how he's built, it says NBA all over him.
Notre Dame's first lead tonight. Salas trying to fire the Demon Deacons back in front, can't connect.
This is where you push it, attack.
Now Burton, he's been in attack mode tonight.
And he sees it right now, he sees it.
Trying to feed again, bounces right back to him, and he finishes. Markus Burton taking over.
I tell you what, if he improves that jump shot and gets a little bit more consistent with his decision making, I mean, this guy has a chance to play at the next level, despite his size, Jay.
Yeah, only stands at 5'11", but he's got great handles, great awareness, and for a freshman, he's been excellent. Monsanto, oh, that's pretty. Step back 3 to tie it at 22.
And that's why he's out there. That's what he does. He's a shooter. But a great pullback crossover dribble to create the space and knock it down.
Everything going through Burton right now, and why not? Rotates over to Tay Davis, attacking Monsanto, trying to muscle it in, and he does.
Great job, Davis. He saw the space, he ate up the space, he got into his chest. Great feet when he gets down there, great finish.
Monsanto, that one off the mark. He's got the unlimited green light from Steve Forbes, though.
Which you want to have. You want to have that green light if you're a player.
Now, you certainly had it when you were shooting the triples at Cuse, that's for sure.
Coach didn't mind.
Made a lot of them. Fun back and forth game. Tomorrow on ACC Network, you got to see number 10 Duke host Louisville at Cameron Indoor at 7 Eastern. And then you really don't want to miss this, the premiere of Coach K and Roy Williams, rivals reunited. Mike Krzyzewski, Roy Williams sitting down together for an extensive conversation for the first time. That'll be a special conversation, 9 Eastern time, right here on ACC Network tomorrow. How about UNC last night? R.J. Davis, Roy Williams had to be smiling at that. A Smith Center scoring record, dropped 42.
Yeah, I mean, R.J. Davis, I think he secured, the ACC Player of the Year. 14 to 22, 7-11, an efficient 42.
Hildreth back into the game, hits the three, and fires the Demon Deacons back in front.
Hildreth, he heard me talking about him, Jay. I mean, he said I'm more than the heart in the grid. I can shoot the ball too, All right, I see you out there.
He's a big-time defender for this Wake Forest team as well. They missed him while he was on the bench. Irish have hit their last 6 shots. And this is a team that has really struggled offensively for stretches of this season, but they've looked really good in this first half here at home.
And Jay, you know what? I'm really a big fan of Tay Davis. Just his build, his length, his versatility. You see him posting up right there. In previous games, you've seen him extended to the three-point line. He can handle it. I mean, this is a guy who's going to keep getting better, especially under Coach Shrewsbury. I just think he has NBA potential written all over him.
Makes the first to tie it at 25. Eric Dievendorf, Jay Alter with you as our ACC doubleheader continues on this Tuesday night. It's been a really fun offensive explosion of a first half. Didn't know what we would get because Wake Forest is so good offensively, Notre Dame so good defensively, but it's the offense certainly winning out right now.
Yeah, well, you see Notre Dame, they just got to be aggressive. They got to look to be aggressive to the rim. When you're aggressive to the rim, you're going to be able to suck in the defense and be able to kick out and hopefully get opportunities with jump shots. But right now, they're doing a good job of, getting the ball inside and making stuff happen.
Yeah, Boopy Miller, so crafty, scoop to the hoop. Both of these teams just having no problem scoring.
They got a three-headed monster out there with Hildreth, Salas, and Boopy Miller. I mean, they have to be some of the most talented guards in the country.
Shrewsbury, catch and shoot, got it! Braden Shrewsbury, one of the hottest hands in the ACC.
Jay, I don't know if the audience watching knows how tough of a shot that is, coming off full speed catch. Body was twisted, but he had it squared to the rim, his shoulders, and he knocked it down.
Carr catches and finishes at the rim. The degree of difficulty on a couple of these shots that have gone down tonight has been fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, we got a high-level basketball game. You talked about Notre Dame known for their defense, but they're bringing it right now offensively.
Shrewsbury went inside that time, couldn't finish it.
Yeah, and we talked about it. That's another part of his game that he wants to work on, but you got to be able to.
Falls to Miller. He can't connect. Another offensive rebound. Efton Reed just swatting it back out to the three-point line, not once but twice. Here's Hildreth. Through the contact. Cameron Hildreth. He has a chance to complete the and one. Wake Forest has taken control, a back and forth game, but the Demon Deacons lead by 3. Like offense, this is the game for you on a Tuesday night. Wake Forest and Notre Dame both red hot in this first half.
Yeah, we know what Wake Forest is capable of, but I think it's more about Notre Dame right now. They're being aggressive. You can't be hesitant as a team. You got to be aggressive. You got to look to attack. If you miss the shot, you get back and play D, and then you come back and be aggressive on the next possession. But Notre Dame is doing a great job being aggressive, getting to the rim, and you saw the couple getting out in transition where Booth hit a couple open threes.
For a team that sports a record of 10-17, you would never know by looking at the energy, the passion, the confidence that Micah Shrewsbury's team is playing with, not only tonight, but they were on a 3-game winning streak, go on the road to Syracuse. They lose the game, but a tight one, 88-85. You look at those last 4 games, they look like a different team.
Well, you talk about 3 of the 5 starters are freshmen and the other 2 are sophomores, so it's going to take a little bit for these guys to, play with the system, buy into the system, know their roles, and that's what Coach Shrewsbury was talking about in a shoot-around. Just guys are fitting in their roles now, knowing what they're supposed to do, and you could see it on these, on these last 4 games and then going into today's game.
Matt Zona tries a triple off the mark. Demon Deacons went full court pressure out of the timeout, trying to mix things up defensively. Here's Hunter Salas. Leaves it for Reed. Too much.
It's a great pocket pass, but you see Davis over there taking the assignment guard and one of the best players in the ACC. Tough task. We got to give that up.
Shrewsbury creates his own shot but can't finish.
Early on, he's showing us that he could put it on the deck a little bit. I like the attempt to get into the hole and being aggressive despite the misses. He just has to keep being aggressive. That's going to open up his jump shots even more.
Hildreth lines up the triple. Got a good look. Couldn't connect.
It's a great screen by Carr, but that's what Notre Dame has to do. They have to make Wake Forest execute in the half-court offense and make it tough for them. No easy shots.
Burton going against Reed. Step back 3. Can't hit it.
That's a shot you can get any time. I think right there you want to try to get to the bucket, get into the paint, and create something.
Carr knocks down the 3. The trailer delivers.
Jay, he's another guy that I really like. He's an older guy. He can play inside and out. I think he is a guy who could play at the next level. Just his versatility. He has to get a little bit tougher and more physical down low, but he has potential to make money at the next level or possibly overseas.
Wake Forest on an 8-0 run right now. They've grabbed control after what has been a very back-and-forth first half. Burton from the same spot he just missed. This time he drills it.
Great ball movement. And what I'm liking from Notre Dame right now is just they're not getting discouraged by missed shots. They're not getting discouraged by Wake Forest getting some good looks at the basket. They're coming down and they're staying aggressive. Credit to Coach Shrewsbury and his staff for having his guys ready to play tonight.
Carr, nice pump fake, leads to a Miller 3. Misfires. Burton.
Great D.
Salas all over him. Those two have been electric tonight. Burton goes right into Salas. It draws the foul.
I tell you what, he set it up with that hard jab to the right, getting into the middle. And young fellas, if you're watching this game right now, watch how Burton is playing off 2 feet. A couple possessions earlier, you see Hildreth do the same thing. Playing off 2 feet, gets the guy up in the air, gets his body into him. Now he's going to the line shooting 2. Playing off 2 feet, more balance, more in control, able to make better decisions.
Burton already 13 points tonight. He has had 7 straight games with 16 or more, well on his way to making it 8 straight. Saturday right here on ACC Network. This is crossover season. We've got a doubleheader. Women's lacrosse at 11 a.m. Notre Dame, who has a huge win to start the season, beat the reigning champions Northwestern. They're in Chapel Hill to take on Carolina. And then men's lacrosse top 8 matchup, Johns Hopkins at Virginia. You know a thing or two about lacrosse, being at Syracuse all those years.
And you know what, Jay, I was just going to say, so being from Michigan, we never had lacrosse growing up. I didn't even know what it was. So when I get to Syracuse, I see lacrosse, I'm like, what is this? 2 out of the 4 years I was there, they win the national championship. I got to know a little bit about lacrosse being in Syracuse, definitely.
I'm trying to think who was the great player on those national championship teams.
Now you put me on the spot.
It's been a while. Don't worry about it. Every time Notre Dame gets within striking distance, Wake Forest seemingly has the answer. Zona tangled up with Hildreth. Burton goes up with a shot and misses. Salas the trailer. Can't connect.
Great job by Notre Dame getting back, getting bodies in front. Just look at Hildreth, man. Just how hard he plays.
Logan Imes a triple. He misfires. Diving in for the offensive rebound, Julian Roper. And he draws the foul. Wake Forest a 4-point lead. The Demon Deacons looking for a road win. And then they're storming the court of the Dome. We won't bring that up with Wake Forest fans. If you looked at the box score, Demetrius Nichols had 22 in that game. Your former teammate now in his first season as an assistant coach on Steve Forbes' Wake Forest staff.
Well, first off, that might have been the hottest I ever been when they stormed the court. 30,000 people on top of my head, Jay. I had to find the scorer's table. That was the first time I found the scorer's table. The second time was the 6-0 game. But you talking about Demetrius Nichols, just one of the best teammates I ever had, the hardest worker. I mean, he's a guy, if he couldn't do it, he was going to figure it out. And it's no surprise to me that he's having success, on the coaching staff at Wake Forest.
When you were playing with him, did you think to yourself that guy's going to make a good coach one day?
I just knew at whatever he wanted to do. He did a little bit of broadcasting, coaching. I knew he was going to be good at it because he worked at it. He was one of the hardest workers, that I ever played with. So nothing surprises me with D-Nick. He's a great guy, great family man, and I'm just happy for him and the success that he's having.
Future head coach?
Absolutely, no question.
Roper steals it away, leaves it for Booth. Carr, great transition defense to stop what could have been an easy bucket for the Irish.
And I think for Booth, Jay, that's his, the next evolution for him. Put on a little bit of weight, be able to bang down there. We've seen him hit a couple jump shots, but he's another guy who, screams NBA at you.
Efton Reed, such an impact coming over from Gonzaga, one of the best big men in the ACC. I asked you, is there a player he reminds you of? And he said, not a player, but I got a celebrity lookalike for you. This was a great call by Eric Devendorf.
I tell you, Jay, and it's no slight to him, The Weeknd is a great musician. But I tell you what, I'm looking at warm-ups and I see Reed. I saw The Weeknd. And everybody who's watching right now on ACC Network, I think they're in agreement with me.
It's uncanny. I couldn't believe it. When you said it, I'm like, I don't know if I see it, because it reads 7 foot.
Right.
But then you do the side-by-side. Our terrific ACC Network crew, Derek Coleman, our producer, great job turning that around. I mean, that is as good a celebrity lookalike as you will find.
And Jay, can you name a few songs for me?
Well, you got Blinding Light. Okay. Everyone knows that. Starboy. Maybe I'll work him in throughout the night on a Reed bucket. Who knows?
And I hope Reed has a good game so we can have him right here in the middle.
Yes, to show him that. Yes. Right now, a 2-possession lead, 6-point lead for the Demon Deacons on the road. Markus Burton's been terrific. Has it here. Finds a fellow freshman, Logan Imes. And now back to Burton. Into the lane. He is so crafty.
I tell you what a half he's having. And again, playing off of 2 feet, getting in the lane, on balance, in control, finishing at the rim. Markus Burton, he's going to be a great one here at Notre Dame.
Up to 17 points tonight. That is now 8 straight games with 16 or more. He is on fire. Give and go between Carr and Reed. Reed couldn't corral it. And off his heel, Notre Dame ball.
A great idea by Carr. I know it was a tough pass at his knees for a 7-footer, but Carr is actually a great passer for a big man.
Save Your Tears, another weekend song.
Save Your Tears.
Save Your Tears on the turnover.
I can't lie, I'm not a big-time weekend fan, I guess, but
that doesn't shock me. What are you playing in the car?
Right now, Drake and 21 Savage.
I wouldn't have had that on my bingo card either.
3 seconds.
Hildreth steals it away. Cam Hildreth, the steal and the finish.
I tell you what, he's known as a defensive guy. He's guarding the best player on the opposing team every game, but right now you see he's in double digits. He's showing that he can do it on the offensive end from inside and out. Great action.
Got a good look, couldn't connect from 3.
And Jay, we really haven't heard Salas's name too much. He has to look to be a little bit more aggressive for Wake Forest.
Yeah, only 3 points for Salas. Boopy Miller's been terrific tonight, though. He has 11.
Yeah, he's been picking up the slack. He's been getting to his spots, playing in control, on balance, making great decisions. These Wake Forest guards are just tough.
And this ties the Demon Deacons' largest lead of the night. Shrewsbury off the screen. This is the three. Offensive rebound. Zona keeps it alive.
This is danger time for Notre Dame. I think they have to get a bucket right here to be able to cut into this lead before half.
Shrewsbury gives up the three. Runner in the lane. Doesn't drop, but he'll get two at the line.
I tell you what, Jay, I've been impressed by Shrewsbury getting his off the dribble game going, getting into the lane. And you see Boopy Miller right here hitting him with the boop boop, getting to the free throw line, knocking it down. He's crafty, he's quick, and these Wake Forest guards are a handful.
You know, for as good as Shrewsbury and Notre Dame have been tonight, you're right that a couple of points to cut into this would go a long way. Timeout, use it or lose it before the end of the first half. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. Saturday afternoon, the first baseball game of the season on ACC Network has Miami playing the second game of a three-game series with fourth-ranked rival Florida. Our coverage starts 3 Eastern in Coral Gables. It's also available on the ESPN app. Eric Devendorf, Jay Alter with you. It's been a very close back-and-forth game. This is actually the largest lead either team has had tonight, 8 points. Feels like Wake Forest has been in control, but Notre Dame's done a very nice job punching back throughout this first half.
I've just been impressed with Notre Dame staying aggressive, keeping the foot on the gas, and not getting discouraged when Wake Forest comes down and makes a bucket. Burton, obviously, with his 17 points, but you see the other guys get involved. Davis, Shrewsbury. And for Notre Dame to have success, they need those other guys to contribute. And Jay, I don't know if you know, I was an okay baseball player growing up.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Little League.
Well, how would I know that?
You wouldn't, but you do now.
I don't know that anybody needed to know that.
No, but now they do.
Timeout, Markus Shrewsbury. And we'll step aside for another 30 seconds. Final possession of the first half coming. 61% from the floor. Notre Dame, though, a chance to cut into this lead right before halftime. What are you drawing up here if you're Markus Shrewsbury?
Well, I'm giving the ball to my best player, Markus Burton. You know, putting him in a pick and roll situation, letting him come off, make a decision. Just be aggressive off that pick and roll and make the right decision. Here we go.
Yeah, Burton with 17 points of this first half. Takes the timer down to 10. Hildreth called for the foul. That'll send Burton to the line for 1-and-1. Yeah, Wake Forest didn't have the foul to give. So Burton a chance to make it a 5-point game before halftime here.
You know, Burton, he's gonna knock down these. He's a high-level player. We saw in the shoot-around earlier when they had the free throw games at the end. It came down to him and Shrewsbury.
They kept going punch for punch. Andrew Carr and Tay Davis getting into it after the made free throw. Roger Ayers quickly assessing technicals.
And Jay, I know you know me. I'm a fan of the back and forth.
You were an elite trash talker. Let's take a look. And Carr and Davis just getting tangled up, and then words exchanged. You see Roger Ayers there immediately calling technicals on both players, so they offset.
Yeah, you saw Carr with the elbow high, but listen, we're getting towards the end of the season. It's almost March. When you're playing with passion, when you're competitive, that's going to happen. All right, it's basketball. There's going to be some contact. Let them know. Don't have any stupid fouls. Get back and play.
So offsetting technicals, really no harm, no foul. Neither team gets free throws. So it's still Wake ball. 5 seconds left at the end of this first half. Boopy Miller, pull up pop. Can't hit it, but the Demon Deacons will still take a 5-point lead into halftime. Defense trailing by 5. Wake Forest looking to follow up what was their biggest win of the season on Saturday with a road win here in South Bend. Salas, he was quiet in the first half. Misfires there to start the second. Hunter Salas, only 3 points to his name, well below his season average. Shrewsbury off the screen. And back to Burton. 7 seconds to work with. Markus Burton has the hottest hand in the gym right now. Passes it up. A Booth 3. Off the mark.
And they had good movement on the possession, but it was too much side to side. There's a couple of times off those down screens where they could have turned that corner, gotten to the lane, 2 feet into the paint.
Salas fouled, going hard to the hole.
You know, a guy like Salas, we know what he's capable of doing. He struggled in the first half, missed his first shot in the second half. But he's a guy who's going to keep putting the pressure on the defense. You can't be hesitant, especially at a guy of his caliber. You just got to keep being aggressive. I think right now him getting to the free throw line, being able to knock it down, see the ball go through the rim, is just going to help him.
The one thing you don't want to do is send Wake Forest to the foul line. They lead the ACC, 3rd best in the nation, shooting better than 80% from the free throw line. Salas buries them both.
See a little full court pressure right here, trying to change the pace up a little bit, make Notre Dame play a little bit faster.
Well, they break the press, and Booth fouled on his way for the jam.
And just you see Wake Forest trying to switch up the pace a little bit. Notre Dame did a good job handling, advancing the ball ahead, and you see Booth showing off his athleticism, getting to the rim, high flyer, knock down these 2 free throws, young fella.
Booth, another one of these talented freshmen that Micah Shrewsbury has in his first season as head coach of Notre Dame. And we mentioned it in the first half, such a bright future that Shrewsbury is building here at South Bend. But this group, they're not satisfied with the future. They're playing really good basketball right now. They were on a 3-game win streak that was snapped at Syracuse Saturday, but they're playing very, very well tonight.
I just like what Coach Shrewsbury is doing and what he's preaching to his team. We talked about how young this team is, 3 freshmen and 2 sophomores starting. I mean, this group is going to grow together, and you know, the sky is the limit for them. They're just going to keep getting better and keep improving, and I think the future is bright for Notre Dame.
Booth working on Carr. In trouble here. Has to get rid of it. Burton right back to Booth. Corner 3. No good.
Great extra.
Got it. Boopy Miller makes Notre Dame pay.
And when you're not knocking it down, make that extra pass. And Salas is a guy who doesn't have to score the ball to make an impact. You see him making that extra pass, getting his open teammate a shot, and Boopy Miller has been playing high level this game.
Demon Deacons up by 9. That is their largest lead tonight.
Shoot the ball.
He missed from the opposite corner. This time goes inside. Count it, plus the foul.
You look at these guys, Booth and Davis, just the length and the athleticism that Notre Dame has on their roster. And again, I think Booth is a guy that, you know, screams NBA potential. You see him right here. Oh, I thought it was a shot, pump fake, get by, get into the lane, hang a little bit, finish with contact over Reed, AKA the weekend.
You are trying to make that stick as Booth completes the three-point play the old-fashioned way.
Oh, it's stuck. It's not gonna. It's already there.
And the one thing Wake Forest has failed to do tonight is they'll get up, but they can't separate. Notre Dame's always punched back to a 2-possession game here.
You got to give credit to Notre Dame. And we talked about it against the loss against Syracuse. They were down 26 at halftime, fought back to only lose by 3. But this young team they're going to keep fighting. They're never going to go away.
Hildreth, tough take, doesn't drop.
Good decision. Bring it back out. Again, I think with Carr being out on that perimeter, Booth and Davis, they have that advantage and be able to go by.
Roper gets his own mess, tries to find Shrewsbury, intercepted by Hildreth. Salas into traffic, ripped away, Markus Burton. And he'll get 2 at the line. He is a fun player to watch, explosive. 3 steals tonight, 19 points. You know, this freshman, he's making a case for ACC Freshman of the Year.
And I'm going to make a comparison, Jay. A guy that I used to play with at Syracuse, who I think was one of the best to ever do it to come to Cuse, Johnny Flynn.
Whoa, that's high praise for Burton.
And I'm not saying he is Johnny Flynn, but Johnny Flynn, he was much more athletic. He could shoot it better. But Burton has that potential. If he continues to improve his jump shot, his decision-making, you know, I know he's only 5'11", but this guy is explosive, dynamic. He plays with good pace. And we talked to Coach Shrewsbury in shoot-around. He's a guy whose decision-making has improved throughout the year. And I think at his position, I mean, that's one thing that you want to be able to have is an elite decision-maker. And he's turning into that.
Well, to your point about Flynn, he's certainly an undersized guard that doesn't let his lack of height detract from his game. 21 points tonight to lead the Irish. And he is on pace to do something that no one has ever done in Notre Dame history, which is average more than 16 points, 4 assists, and 2 steals per game. Think about of all the great players that have played here at Notre Dame, he'd be the first to do that. Offensive rebound, Carr. Contact, no call.
Great defense, great possession by Notre Dame right there.
And Burton goes flying right into Hildreth, and Hildreth is called for the blocking foul. Now Hildreth can't believe it. Wake Forest, a 4-point lead. Notre Dame battling. The ACC tournament starts March 12th on ESPN. Let's take a look at the ACC tournament bracket projection. This is entering the night, and you know, Wake Forest, critical for them to get the double bye, advance all the way to the quarterfinals if they can hang on to that 4 seed.
Yeah, you know what? We talked to Coach Forbes earlier. I think he's just focusing on one game at a time, and you want to be able to control your own destiny. And how do you do that? By winning this game and then focusing and getting to the next game and winning that one. You can't get too far ahead of yourself. If you do, you know, that's when bad things happen.
Obviously coming off what was their biggest win of the season Saturday against Duke. You want to follow that up with a road win tonight. Just, as you said, keep stacking wins. And the ACC standings and tournament will take care of itself, and then getting seeded in the NCAA tournament will take care of itself. And with Wake Forest net at 25. That seems to be the metric the committee's been leaning on in the last couple of years. I think they should feel very comfortable with their resume. You just can't stub your toe tonight in South Bend.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about it earlier in the season. They were playing without Reed. A totally different team now with Reed on the floor. And I think this game was a trap game after coming biggest win of the season against Duke, coming into Notre Dame. You know, obviously, despite Notre Dame's record, that really doesn't show what type of team they are. And they're showing it tonight. So Wake Forest, still with 15 minutes left, has their work cut out for them.
Foul called against Wake Forest. Andrew Carr with a hold. That's his third. So ball stays with Notre Dame underneath their own hoop. Trailing by 4, 5 minutes into this second half. The Irish have done well to hang around. Big reason why Markus Burton, he's got 21 points to his name tonight. Finds Shrewsbury in the corner, left it way short. Hildreth tried to squeeze it into Carr. Kicked out of play.
You know what, Jay, on the offensive side of the ball for Notre Dame, with how good Burton is getting to his spots, all eyes are going to be on him. So, Notre Dame players have to do a good job of filling the spots, getting to those open spots so they can get open looks. But Burton does a good job probing. His teammates just have to move without the ball so they can see him and get those open looks. And Shrewsbury is one of those guys who does a great job moving without the ball.
Here's Boopy Miller. And now Hildreth. Great handles, Hildreth. Rejected at the rim, though. Couldn't finish it. Carey Booth with the block. And Burton goes coast to coast to cut the lead in half.
I tell you what, just seeing this guy in person, I'm that much more of a fan. How hard he goes to the basket, putting the pressure downhill on the defense, finishing off at 2 feet, right hand on the left side. He's having an excellent night tonight, Burton.
Fredrickson couldn't knock down the corner three. Take another look at this great transition. Defense into offense.
And it was a good job of Hildreth getting into lane, playing off of 2, but it's hard to finish over that length with Booth. And then you see Burton coming down, going head at Boopy Miller, finishing off of 2 feet for the 2.
Markus Burton tonight has 23 points. That is half of Notre Dame scoring. He leads all ACC freshmen in scoring, but 23 for him, 23 for all the rest of the Notre Dame players combined.
Well, you know what? Burton has to be, tops in consideration for ACC Rookie of the Year. And I haven't seen all the teams playing college basketball, but if you ask me, this guy is one of the top freshmen in all of the country.
Monsanto, kick out triple. Can't connect. Wake Forest getting a couple of good looks. Can't knock him down. Shrewsbury, he misses in transition. His head coach and his father not happy with that shot selection, and it leads to 2 on the other end.
Hildreth is having himself a night, just being aggressive to the basket, and I love how he's in control, on balance. Seems to always be playing off of 2 feet.
Foul off ball. And Micah Shrewsbury livid. And we talked about what's it like to coach your son? Well, when you don't like a shot, you react like that.
Yeah, well, the last 8 games, Shrewsbury's had 31 threes, so I think he does have a little bit of the green light. He just has to get his legs up under him a little bit more. I mean, he was on target, just short, but, Shrewsbury is the guy who they need, this offense to have a good offensive game, being one of the elite shooters in ACC play. Just not feeling it as much tonight.
He told us, I try and treat him like I treat all my players, but there are times where I'm a little harder on him.
Yeah, of course, just being his dad out there, first and foremost, I think he's just ecstatic that he's able to coach his son, but he's trying to win basketball games too, Jay, so when he's not playing well, he's gonna let him know. And he can do it over dinner.
A lob to Booth at the rim, and he's fouled. So the foul's starting to pile up for Wake Forest. They already have 7 committed fouls in the second half. So Notre Dame's going to be in the bonus for the remainder of this game. That's 13 minutes plus of shooting free throws on every foul.
And I tell you what, when you have a guy like Markus Burton on your side, being in the bonus the rest of the half, that puts a lot of pressure on the Wake Forest defense, especially when Markus Burton is in attack mode each time he has the ball. I'm impressed by Booth this game. You know, he's not average. He's averaging 8 points a game, but he's a guy, 5 points a game, but he's a guy who has NBA potential. I just think sky's the limit for this guy. He's doing it inside and out. He's showing his versatility, his athleticism.
You've been throwing NBA potential out at a lot of guys tonight. I'm starting to feel like I've got NBA potential.
I tell you what, the two guys I'm talking about, Davis, Booth, and then obviously we got you know, Markus Burton. Those are the three guys that they really do, with the length and athleticism that they have. I mean, they do have an NBA skill set, and they're young. They have a lot of room to grow.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I guess it runs in the family too with Booth, right? With Calvin being, you know, a former NBA player, now the GM of the Denver Nuggets.
No doubt about it. A lot of talent on the floor. A lot of talent in the ACC. Booth hits the three, and just like that, Notre Dame back in front.
Make me look good, Jay. Booth, make me look good right here. Doing it inside and out. See him icing.
The Irish on a 12-2 run over the last 5 minutes.
See Burton getting in the lane, kicking it out. Booth showing his versatility. Booth has been exceptional tonight on both ends of the floor.
And Wake Forest has gone cold at the wrong time. They shot 60% in the first half, just 16% in the second. Carr misses it. Marsh can't tap it home. Wake Forest just one of their last 12. And it has allowed Notre Dame to grab the lead here. 12 minutes to go in regulation.
Stay in attack mode, young fella.
In traffic, gets his own miss. Battles through it. Finds Booth for three. Can't hit it this time. What does Wake Forest need to do differently offensively?
Well, they need to get good shots. All the shots they're taking right now are tough. They got to get Salas involved, or they got to get Boopy Miller being able to drive and create. But you know what? Notre Dame is doing a great job defensively. It's funny when you score the ball, you want to go and play defense on the other end. It's funny how that works. I don't know. I wasn't a guy who really liked to play defense, Jay. I like to score, though, I tell you that.
Notre Dame's been playing it dialed in defensively in this second half.
And that's been their calling card really this whole season, defense and rebounding. And now you see playing against, and there he is, Salas. We've been waiting for you.
Well, 7 points tonight. He has double figures in every game this season. Kebajai backing down Matthew Marsh, righty hook, falls. Well, the backboard coming in handy there.
Sometimes we need it.
Back and forth we go on a Tuesday night in the ACC. Wake Forest trying to avoid stubbing their toe here in South Bend. Miller can't connect. Ball bounces to Shrewsbury.
You know what, Burton has been doing it not only on this end, but he's been playing really good defense on Boopy Miller, who's an exceptional offensive player.
Shrewsbury can't connect again. He's got a couple of good looks, just can't find his stroke from three. Just 1 for 7 from deep tonight.
Keep shooting the ball. Keep shooting the ball. They're going to go in.
Burton, too much. Another offensive rebound. These freshmen playing unafraid against a Wake Forest team battling for their NCAA tournament lives.
The time.
The Wake Forest, for the last few seasons, they have lived on the bubble, and same thing this year. They've been on Joe Lunardi's bubble really since the beginning of the season. Our ESPN bracketologist moving Wake Forest into his projected field, into the last 4 byes after the big win against Duke. The last thing Steve Forbes' team can do is, after that big win, after getting into the projected field, is losing this game in South Bend tonight.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think this is an NCAA tournament win. Obviously, they have to win tonight, but I mean, it just goes to show you how tough the ACC is. You know, we talk about Notre Dame, who's at the bottom of the ACC, and they're fighting here at home against one of the top teams in the ACC at Wake Forest. But Wake Forest controls their own destiny. If they can win tonight, I think they'll secure NCAA tournament bid.
And the metrics are great. The numbers really support that Wake Forest is no doubt an NCAA tournament team. You just have to prove it. This time of the season, there's just extra importance put on each and every game. Feels like every game in February and March is a quote-unquote big game. And Wake Forest has been great in February, 5-2. The only losses are at Duke and at Virginia. In fact, we just showed you they don't have a single quad 3 or quad 4 loss on their resume. And you just don't want to stub your toe in South Bend. Salas, contested shot, great defense by Notre Dame in this second half.
And I think especially on the road, Jay, you want to show the tournament committee that you could go away from home where Wake Forest is undefeated, and you want to be able to win games on the road.
Demon Deacons shooting just 3 of 18 in this second half. It's allowed Notre Dame to come back and take the lead. Davis open 3, too much on it. Miller lost the dribble, trying to do too much.
Yeah, it's just out of control right there.
Demon Deacons in a 3-minute scoring drought.
You got to see the mismatch right now. We got with Boop. There they go. They recognized it.
Shot clock down to 4. Carey Booth, pull up pop, missed it. Offensive rebound, stays alive with Jai. He can't finish it. Demon Deacons desperate for a bucket. Struggling in this second half. Salas, nothing but air. Wake Forest is now shooting 3 of 19 from the field in this second half. It's allowed Notre Dame to poke in front. 1-point game, 7:30. Well, for as good an offensive game as it was in the first half, it's been equally strong defensively in the second half. Both teams making great adjustments defensively, and they have been dialed in. Look at the difference first half to second half for Wake Forest. Down more than 40% from the field.
Yeah, well, we know Notre Dame is one of the toughest defensive teams in the conference, and Wake Forest is a solid defensive team as well. I think the difference right now is the rebounding, the offensive rebounding Notre Dame is doing, allowing themselves to get second chance opportunities, and then the free throws, 13 for 16 overall, and then 6 for 7 for Wake Forest.
Now, Wake Forest had a 9-point lead in this second half. Since that point, Notre Dame on a 14-4 run, in front by 1. And we've said it throughout the night, but rightly or wrongly, because Notre Dame's playing a lot better than their record in the last couple of weeks, this would be, because of the metrics, a damaging loss to the Wake Forest NCAA tournament resume. We just told you that Joe Lunardi has the Demon Deacons in his projected field. I think their resume would reflect that. But this would be a puncture, even though it's a conference road game. Burton makes the front end of the 1-1. You don't want to lose to a team that's 10-17 when the entire committee is watching you very closely because you're on that bubble.
Yeah, and we talked about it coming off a big win, biggest win of the season against Duke, coming into Notre Dame. This was the trap game. And Markus Burton is doing all he can do to make sure Notre Dame pulls off this upset.
Burton now up to 25 points tonight. Salas has struggled. He only has 7, averages 20. Needs Carr, who finishes.
And what do you do when you're struggling as an offensive player? You still got to be aggressive. You got to look into the lane and be able to get others involved. And there you see him with the drop off to Carr, and Carr's getting himself involved.
Shrewsbury, a 3. Rims in and out, no good. He is just 1 for 8 from deep tonight. And the freshman coming into the night, 45% from 3 in ACC play. He has been ice cold. That rims out, no good. Corner 3, Booth misfires. So Notre Dame's fallen cold as well. Both of these teams have really cooled off.
Jay, regardless of the shots not falling, you got to continue to stay aggressive, especially with Notre Dame being in the bonus. You got to stay aggressive. They've been doing a great job getting to the free throw line. And there you see Booth Miller doing a good job of drawing the foul.
Well, the Irish have missed their last 8 shots, 1 of their last 11, and yet they still have a 1-point lead in this game.
Yeah, like I said, they're doing a good job of continuing to be aggressive, getting to the foul line, and getting their points from the foul line right now.
Carr lines up a 3, can't connect. Wake Forest shooting 4 of 22 from the field in this second half. Booth driving on Carr. Here's the freshman Imes, drives to the hole, rejected by Salas.
Great defensive play, showing his athleticism.
Miller coast to coast, too much on it, can't finish at the rim. And now up ahead, Burton. Transition 3. Off the mark.
Yeah, I don't know about that one right there, Jay. I'm attacking the basket. We already in the bonus. Getting in there, getting to the body. I know Reed's a bigger guy, but get your body into his chest and get to the free throw line. Salas got lucky there. You know, Salas, he's playing hesitant.
Reed cleans up the spill. Timeout, Steve Forbes. Wake Forest back in front. We step aside. This is a fun finish in the East. Now, the dancing leprechaun might be the highlight of this second half. This has been ugly basketball from an offensive perspective. Eric Devendorf, Jay Alter with you. Notre Dame has missed their last 10 shots, but their defense is keeping them in it. 5 minutes to play, only trailing by 1.
Well, yeah, I mean, you see right here, Notre Dame is one of the best defensive teams in the ACC, and I think probably one of the best defensive teams in the country. You know, Houston is the best team in the defensive team in the country, allowing only 55 points. But, I mean, Notre Dame, that's what their staple was this season, rebounding and defense. And they could be scary once they put this offense together.
Wake Forest coming in averaging 79 points per game. They're stuck at 56. Clinging to a 1-point lead. They would love to close out this road win. Even if it's ugly, they just want to escape South Bend with a critical win. Really to just avoid a loss that would puncture their NCAA tournament resume. Burton's killed them all night. Into contact, off the window and in. Markus Burton, 27 points tonight.
Tough finish, using his body. He's 5'11" going in there, Jay. Amongst the trees, using his body, contorting, finishing with the right hand. He's a special player.
Irish back in front by 1. Miller rejected. Burton from behind. Markus Burton has done it all tonight. A special performance for a freshman who very well could end up the ACC Freshman of the Year. Shot clock down to 8. Davis on the drive. Tay Davis right to the rim for 2.
Yeah, we talked about the advantage that Davis has going against Carr, bringing him out on the perimeter. He just took advantage of it right there, getting all the way to the hole with a tough finish.
Reach in foul. We step aside. 3:34 to go. Notre Dame a 3-point lead. Markus Burton has been the superstar all night. He is willing the Irish to the finish line on both ends of the floor. Too shy of tying his career high. He is battling for this win. It would be the best win of the season for Notre Dame, the best win of the Micah Shrewsbury era. 3:34 to go, and this young Irish team leading a very talented Wake Forest team by 3 because of Burton.
And I tell you what, man, he is just a tough guard. He's so hard not to foul. He's quick. He uses his angles and his body to get to his spots. I mean, he's having an excellent game on both ends of the floor, and I am an even bigger fan after watching him tonight. Markus Burton is one of the top freshmen in the country.
And while this would be the best win of the season for Notre Dame, it would be the worst loss of the year for Wake Forest. They are undefeated in quad 3 and 4 games, haven't lost one of them. This would be a quad 3 game. Reed on the block, goes with the righty hook and catches in.
And you just think, you know, they got to be able to go down to their big guys and try to be able to play out of the post, look at the double team, kick out to either Salas or Boopy Miller and play off of those long closeouts.
The hot hand, Burton, pull up pop, sticks it. Ties a career high 29.
He's just having his way. That was good action coming off the DHO right there, getting to his spot, getting into his mid-range pull up. He's just having his way tonight.
Hildreth lobs. Nobody home, but a foul off the ball will stay Wake Forest ball.
Hey, Jay, we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast just Salas being a, first team all ACC potentially, but you see him right now just standing in the court. If I'm him, regardless of the game that I'm having right now, I want the ball. I want to be aggressive. I want to look to get into the paint and make plays for myself and my teammates. He can't shy away right now with 2:38 left. He has to be able to look to be aggressive and get the ball in his hands.
Efton Reed makes the front end of the 1-and-1. And as the postseason push continues on the women's side Thursday, you don't want to miss it. Nothing but net right here on the ACC network. They'll tell you everything you need to know in women's basketball. The best conference in the sport. 9 women's teams projected in Charlie Cream's NCAA tournament field. Wake Forest currently projected on the men's side in Joe Lunardi's tournament field. Who knows if that would change if they can't win tonight in South Bend.
Same action right there, getting Burton in the handoff.
Davis battling, puts it up, no good.
Don't run away from it, Salas. Come and look to get the ball and be aggressive.
Salas only 7 points tonight. He has scored in double figures every game this year, except this one. Feed into Reed, couldn't handle it. That's a turnover.
And you know what? The right idea, just the wrong pass. 7 foot, you can't throw it at his knees. Throw it up high to where he can get it and just go right up. Now Wake having to bring a little full court pressure. There you go. That's who needs to have the ball.
29 points tonight. Ties a career high. The freshman in attack mode. Down the lane. Floater doesn't fall. Kept alive. Shot clock doesn't reset. Shrewsbury hits it. Braden Shrewsbury buries it.
Keep shooting the ball, Jay. Regardless of the game he's having shooting, he hits a big one. Tough left hand by Boopy.
Wake Forest, the instant answer. Boopy Miller. Timeout, Steve Forbes. Shrewsbury before that made 3. Just 1 for 8 from 3. But he made the biggest of the night. Notre Dame clinging to a 2-point lead. We step on finish here at South Bend, and it's the coach's son, Braden Shrewsbury, who drills a clutch three.
Yeah, and you see him right here, not having the best shooting night, but knocking it down when it matters. Jay, and then you see on the other end, Boopy Miller with a tough finish with the left hand in the lane. Wake Forest down by 2.
And Miller leads the Demon Deacons with 15. Wake Forest trying to avoid what would be their first quad 3 or 4 loss of the season tonight. That just after you get your biggest win of the season against Duke on Saturday. Trying to avoid stubbing their toe here in South Bend.
And you know what? I think Coach Forbes knew it coming in that this was going to be a tough game on the road against a much improved Notre Dame team.
The Irish have won 3 of their last 4, but if they can hold on, this would be by far their biggest win of the season. 1 minute remaining in regulation. Davis, great pass, blocked. Efton Reed swatted it. And now here's Salas. Off his foot. Who did it go off of last? The officials say it touched Salas. Obviously, they'll review this at the monitor. Let's take another look. Salas built up a head of steam.
Yeah, kicked it
off his right foot. So this is going to be Notre Dame ball with 49 seconds remaining. Irish a 2-point lead. Wake Forest only 1 timeout remaining. Notre Dame with 3.
Yeah, Jay, I'm just giving it to my best player, the guy who's been the best player on the floor the whole night, Markus Burton. Get him in that high ball screen and just let him go off and make a decision.
Now the Demon Deacons squarely on the bubble. Feels like they've lived on the bubble the last 3 seasons. The last 2 years they missed out. This year they're trying to squeak in. Look at their remaining schedule at Virginia Tech Saturday, then Georgia Tech, Clemson at home, where they are undefeated. Where the Demon Deacons' resume is weak is outside of Winston-Salem. Just 3-9 away from the Joel, 2-7 in true road games. You said it earlier, Devo. Tonight would prove, look, we can win on the road. They have 49 seconds to try and change their fate.
And you know what? I think a loss here on the road against Notre Dame would all but, you know, really diminish that win Sunday against Duke.
Yeah, that Duke win, best of the season, vaulted them into a lot of projected fields. Would this loss knock them out? Perhaps. And this would be by far the biggest win for Notre Dame in the Micah Shrewsbury era.
See Burton use this whole clock. I'll go down at about 9 or 8. See Davis going into the side ball screen right here.
Shot clock down to 10. Burton starts to move. Down to Davis, working on Carr. Trying to muscle it in, and he does!
It's tough by Davis, getting positioned to a spot, using his body to finish over a taller Carr.
Miller draws the foul with 18.3. 2-possession game.
See right here, Davis getting low, getting into the chest, creating that space with that little bump right there, then going right up for the finish.
Miller shooting 1 and 1. 84% on the season from the line. Missed it. But it stays Wake Forest's way. They'll review it at the monitor, which really acts as a free timeout for Wake Forest. And the Demon Deacons could use that because they're only down to 1.
Yeah, but that's a big miss right there by Boopy Miller. Being able to knock him down by 2, or knock 2 down and be down by 2, and then be able to set up the full court press.
Carr pokes his hand through, but who touched it last, Davis or Carr?
I can't really tell.
That's your best angle right there.
Yeah, I think they made the right call. Davis followed through on it.
So it would be Wake Forest ball underneath their own hoop, trailing by 4.
Well, Jay, you got to get a quick look right here out of this out of bounds. You know, whether it's a quick shot or, you know, quick cross screen right into the finish at the rim and then set up your full court press.
And even though Hunter Salas has struggled tonight, a season low 7 points, he's been your most consistent player all season. Do you feel like you got to go to Salas here?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm either going to Boopy Miller or Salas, unless you want to try to get Reed into a cross screen where he can just get it low and then go right up for the finish. But then if you do make it, you got to be able to set up into your full court press right away. I think go for the steal quick. If you don't get it, you got to foul right away. And, you know, Notre Dame's been doing a good job at the free throw line knocking them down. But how about this win, Jay, if Notre Dame's able to hold on and pull it out? You know, we talking about the improvement that Notre Dame has been making throughout the season. This would be probably one of the biggest wins of the season for Notre Dame.
No, it would be their best. And Roger Ayers comes over and says, call on the floor stand. So Wake Forest ball. 17 seconds remaining in regulation. Boopy Miller is the inbounder.
There it is, Salas.
Got a clean look. Left it short. Miller tosses it to nobody. And it's Notre Dame ball with 12.2 seconds.
And even though it was a great play coming off, wide open shot.
You couldn't ask for a better look.
See right here coming off. And you know what? The shot, it just seemed lackadaisical, the shot. Salas doesn't seem, the whole game, he doesn't seem like he's been engaged.
Just 2 for 11 from the floor. A season low 7 points. And Wake Forest in real trouble here now because it's Notre Dame ball. Micah Shrewsbury took a timeout. Still has 2 remaining. And with a 4-point cushion, the Irish just need to kill the final 12 seconds of this game.
Again, Jay, I think this just goes to show what type of conference the ACC is. You know, Notre Dame 10-17, 5-11 in conference, going against a top 4, top 5 team in Wake Forest. The ACC is one of the best conferences in college basketball, without question.
Well, you and I agree on that.
Notre Dame has to take care of the ball right here.
Davis, the inbounder, squeezes it to Burton, who will go to the line. Still shooting 1-and-1 here. And Burton with a chance to go over 30 and add to what is already a career high.
I think what's impressive about Burton is it's not only he's doing it on the offensive end, but he's doing it on the defensive end as well. You know, going against a guy like Boopy Miller, who is, you know, as crafty as they come, and he's done a great job defensively this whole game.
And Burton is a perfect 9 for 9 from the foul line tonight. So this is the last guy you want at the foul line if you're Wake Forest. So they add a little more time onto the clock. Burton steps to the line. The weight of this game on the freshman's shoulders. Shooting 1-and-1. Wake Forest down to 1 timeout. Nothing but the bottom of the net for Burton. 30 points tonight, a career high. Only the 4th Notre Dame freshman with a 30-point game. And now it's a 6-point lead for the Irish. Now or never time for Wake Forest. Miller, a lot of time coming off the clock. Carr a 3, hits it. Cuts the lead in half. 1 possession game. Steve Forbes uses his final timeout. 3.9 seconds remaining.
Yeah, you see right here, got to push it up, got to get something quick. Good job by Carr, popping out, knocking it down. And Notre Dame right here, they just got to be able to get inbounds the ball, get it in, and no Wake Forest has to foul him. Get it to your best foul shooter, Burton, who's now 11-11 from the line.
And for Wake Forest, you have to feel, you mentioned it throughout the night, Eric, trap game. Well, they came out very focused. They had a 9-point lead in the second half. A couple of times this year, they have led on the road. Pitt and NC State come to mind, and they just haven't been able to finish. And they're falling into a similar theme tonight.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to give credit to Notre Dame. We talked about, last Saturday against Syracuse being down 26 at half. Despite the loss, the effort and the enthusiasm never left. They fought back to only lose by 3. Same type of deal here. Get down, they continue to fight, and now it looks like they're going to be on the winning end of things in this game.
Well, you still got to inbound this ball. Wake Forest out of timeouts. Notre Dame still with 2.
It's interesting right here, they're having Burton inbound the ball. Oh, wow, okay.
Well, very creative to throw it to Davis, who then inbounded it to Shrewsbury, and he actually ran more than 1.5 seconds off the clock.
I guess that's the basketball version of the flea flicker.
Yeah,
maybe.
Exactly, yeah. And that is legal after a make. You have the ability to run on the baseline or pass it on the baseline, so long as the person is fully out of bounds. And for Cameron Hildreth, his night is done. 5 fouls. He is fouled out of this game. And it is still Shrewsbury at the line to shoot 2. Two-possession game. A huge free throw make with only 2 seconds left. Shrewsbury's got them both. Markus Shrewsbury telling his team not to foul. The inbound comes in the Miller. A half-court heave. It's not going to matter. Notre Dame earns their biggest win of the Markus Shrewsbury era. And